What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy Hanukkah, happy holy days. I am Love Coach Scott Thomas, and I'm really happy to be spending Christmas night with each and every one of you. Grateful to see some of our dearest friends in the Zoom room, and welcome to everybody who's watching on Facebook and YouTube. We have a really special night. It is my birthday, get that out of the way. And for many, many years, I used to do shared birthday parties with our beloved friend Celestine Starr, whose birthday was December 24th. And so Celestine and I would have joint birthday parties. Celestine passed a couple of years ago on July 4th, 2022, but she is a busy little angel, and she has been connecting deeply with the co-founder of the Global Peace Tribe, Deborah Giusti, who is with us tonight. And she's working every day with one of our absolute favorite people, Michaela, the extraordinary woman who is she's a muse, she's a wordsmith, and much more. And she is channeling an entire book from Celestine. And tonight she's going to share a little bit of what Celestine has to say on the other side. We're also going to open it up. We've got some people going to drop on in and join us a little bit later on in the evening. But we are going to start the way that we always love to start the show, and that is with my beloved friend, my co-pilot, our house musical artist, Omashar. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Scott, and everybody, and happy Hanukkah. And Kwanzaa's starting tomorrow, I think. And this is my British, this is how it looks in Stonehenge right now. And so this is Christmas in Stonehenge, you know, with a bit of Aurealis Borealis, or whatever it's called. Anyway, my opening line is, you can have too much chocolate, but you can never be too holy. And so let's see what we do here.
Christmas is here, the time for love, the warmth of friends, starlight above. Open my heart, allow me to see the truth of life, the Christ in me. We are holy, holy, holy. of love, the gift of grace, our open hearts, the sacred space. Open my mind, allow me to see that I am whole, and you live in me. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole. The light is here, illuminate the star within, emancipate, enjoy in life, our radiant earth, our light returns, the sacred birth. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole. Spirit divine, come to me, feeling love, healing me. Open my heart, allow me to see the beauty of love surrounding me. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We holy, holy, holy. We are whole. Last time. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are holy, holy, holy. We are whole.
Stellar review and our Christmas twinkles for our beloved Omashar. And yes, we are holy, holy, holy. You had a little bit of a couple of unmuted people harmonizing with you there for a moment.
I know, it was absolutely beautiful. I couldn't say anything else. Greetings, everybody. Greetings, Mark, and everybody here on our little screen.
Yeah.
Namaste, Merry Christmas.
Yeah. And we'll have a lot more on Bashar tonight, which I'm grateful for. You know, this all started, this Global Peace Tribe thing started when Deborah Giusti was going to be hosting a fundraising event for our good friend Fantuzzi in early April of 2020. And there was this thing called a pandemic that happened. And she said, Scott, we can't do it live. Can we do it online? I said, sure. And that is how Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe got started. And here we are almost 5 years later, still doing these shows. So it is my honor to kind of introduce the whole Celestine Starr part of this with one of Celestine's best friends, the mother of the Global Peace Tribe, our beloved Deborah Giusti. Welcome, Deborah. You're muted, dear.
Thank you, Scott. And so good to be here. And I honor you so much for continuing this incredible service that you do. You've done for 2 to 3 years now since we did our whole run. It's amazing what you do. And just hello and so much love to all the people that are here. It's such a bright light that comes. And we do want to start with honoring you, Scott. So, because this is your birthday, And I'm going to bring up my co-host, who we are going to honor Celestine, but first we want to honor you with this incredible poem, because Michaela is an amazing wordsmith extraordinaire. And so she's going to delight us with this birthday poem.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Scott. Speaking of holy, Scott, you are holy because when healing becomes healed, it becomes whole. So I just want to invite us all to take a deep breath of gratitude for Scott and how he shares his light and magic. And I have a poem that I wrote for you today. For Scott, a beacon of love. Today, the stars align in sacred delight to honor a soul who shines so bright. Scott, your presence, a radiant flame, a love coach, a guide, a cherished name. With kindness as your compass, you lead the way, helping others, helping hearts awaken, come what may. The awakening world, your soulful art, a mission of love from your generous heart. You teach us to live, to give, to be, to dance in the flow of life's vast sea. Each word you share, a gentle embrace. Each moment with you, a touch of grace. On this day, as we celebrate your birth, know your light transforms this earth. May joy and laughter forever find their home in your heart, your brilliant mind. So here's to you, Scott, a true divine spark, a radiant soul igniting the dark. Happy birthday with love and cheer. May your days be blessed year after year after year. Happy birthday to you, my dear brother. Thank you for all that you do and all that you are. You are a shining star. And let's give him some twinkle love right here, saying happy birthday to you, Scott Katamas. Thank you. And we'll have a birthday song a little later. Don't worry, we all get to sing. Thank you, Scott.
I'm kind of speechless right now, which doesn't happen very often. So thank you. I'm just going to savor this. I'm glad it's recorded. I think I'll go back and watch it a few times because it's really very beautiful. And Michaela, thank you. Thank you. I love
Oh
you.
yeah, Celestine was like, you got to write Scott a poem right now. You know, that's what you do. And I was like,
Thank you, Celestine. Thank you, Michaela.
You're welcome.
Okay. Love you, Scott. Glad we got to do
Love
this.
you too.
So I'm here to initiate this great honoring of an incredible being, Celestine Starr. And I want to start by inviting her in because she is totally present. She is here with us. She is amazing. And she actually tapped me and Scott on the shoulder and said, we want to do this. And so, you know, she is one of the most advanced, loving, creative, competent Renaissance women that I've known. I knew her for 30 years. And in the last 10 years, we were deep soul sisters. And she's always on mission. And we were really close together. And yes, her birthday was Christmas Eve, and we celebrated her yesterday. And the truth is, she was a soul sister to so many. And she is still here with us. Celestine was an ambassador to the High Spiritual Council. She's a Galactic Star Federation. And during her earthly journey, she had so many roles. And she was a high priestess. She was a mystical alchemist, a holistic therapeutic healer, an entrepreneur. She was a grandmother. She was a wisdom keeper, an oracle, a prophetess, a psychic. And she wrote books and videos and was on her mission. And why is she coming back now? Because the time is now. The time is now. We are in the planetary ascension. If you haven't noticed, things have been escalating and escalating and escalating. Truth all over is coming up to the surface to be revealed and healed. and people are waking up all over the world. So this is really a really special time. And that's why she's coming through again, especially now. And I'm going to share some slides with you that I put together today that will share with you her essence and a little bit of my story with her. So I'm just going to share screen here. And there she is, the beautiful Celestine Starr. She radiated beauty everywhere she went. We went to a lot of events together, and she was always dressed up at High Priestess. She had a quality that when she came in the room, you felt her, you knew her, and her heart reached out to every single person. She was just amazing. This is one of my favorite pictures of her. I have this in my office right above me. She was truly a high priestess. She was actually initiated as a young girl in the psychic arts with her family. And she had a near-death experience when she was 6 that took her to the other side and gave her so much wisdom. And in her 20s, she connected with her galactic family and then continued on. And she was part of our deep Bay Area soul family. Everyone loved her and knew her. And she was just amazing. She was also a healer. This is what she did as a profession. She would work with people and take them through many deep processes to either do the deep healing that we all need to do right now to heal our trauma, our core wounds, our limiting beliefs, or she would connect you with your galactic star family so you could understand where she came from, where you came from. And she was just amazing. She was just a high being that had wisdom on many different levels. I mean, you could ask her anything and she could go into the resources and tell about Egypt, about Atlantis, about spiritual development on all levels. And she was there with me with Harmony Festival. We created this performance called the Goddess Dancers. And so she was there, and we did this for about 10 years at Harmony Festival. And so the Harmony Festival happened from 1978 to 2011 and was one of the first transformational festivals that grew to 30,000 people. And she was a part of that. She would tape it all, record it, and be with me, and was a part of the Goddess Grove. She would always do the opening oracle because she was the one that brought in the energies and set the stage, and she was amazing. And we were just soul sisters. We had a similar mission. We were both here for the awakening or for the ascension, and I just loved her dearly. We were part of the Mary Magdalene group in Marin County. This was about 50 people that's still going on, led by Christy Michaels. And we were always part of the sacred ceremony that would happen at Easter, and also Mary Magdalene's birthday in July. This is us doing ceremony at the Easter ceremony that would take place. It was an honor to be by her side. And we'd go to all the conferences, all the parties, all the everything. She was a master tech person too. Not only was she a high priestess, she could handle technology, do all the video. She was definitely a superwoman. And we were always there together, checking out all the conferences, Contact in the Desert, New Living Expo, Conscious Life Expo. We'd travel together and go to all of them and do the shows. When she had her book, when she released her book, Galactic Earth Council book, she would go to the shows and showcase them there. And of course, she developed a really huge following of people that she did healing for, and all the people that started following her because she started going on a lot of talk shows and on YouTubes and sharing her message, which her family was from the star Sirius, and they channeled this book to her, which is still available. And she was a traveler, just a beauty. She was an adventurer. That's what I loved about her, because we both would go for the adventure and let spirit guide us. We actually went to France together and went to the Mary Magdalene Trail, went to all the sacred sites. This is Saint Baume in France, where Mary Magdalene had her last days. I think something like her last 20 years were here, where she was in sacred ceremony, all the time there. And so we actually went to all the sacred sites. Now, Mary Magdalene came to her and told her to do this pilgrimage. And she told her to take 24 crystals. And at each site, we would plant a crystal in ceremony, because the goal was to connect all those sites all the way through. This is where Mary Magdalene has her tomb that we were able to go to. And the journey was just amazing and a huge story. There we are after we planted the crystal at Chateau de Rennes, which was her school that she had in the province of France. And we went to Lourdes as well. And at Lourdes, she felt her family coming in, and it was really magical. And we saw this in the sky. And she says that this was one of her fleets of her family. As you can see, it's a pretty unusual cloud formation, because the clouds cloak the ships at times. And so this was an amazing visual that we had there. And we also went to Crete and Greece, and especially to Delphi. And this is the Temple of Athena in Delphi, France. We went with 12 different women who were all priestesses of Isis, and our goal was to go to all the Isis temples all along Crete and in Greece. This is us in Crete at one of the temples, and that's the beautiful Celestine after we made some clay goddesses there. What we did at the Temple of Athena was amazing. They don't allow you to do rituals at temples anymore, but we went there really early in the morning, and the 12 priestesses dressed up in our goddess garb and just went in there when no one was there. And we went in deep ritual and brought through the oracles of Delphi. And Celestine became the Oracle of Delphi. It was amazing. We were told that our role of anchoring the divine feminine is so important for these times. And not only us, but there are many women coming in now to anchor the feminine, to bring the earth back into balance. It was just truly amazing. You can see her in deep, deep channeling. And she gave a message to all of us, all 12 of us there, a personal message as the Oracle of Delphi, which is what happened there when the women for many years became the high priestess oracles, and people would come from all over to get information, especially high government officials would come to get channelings from the Oracle of Delphi for many years. And Delphi is just beautiful. Here I am giving homage to the Temple of Athena. And here's a picture I took after we did the channeling with the light coming right into my palm there. And then unexpectedly, Celestine transitioned July 4th, 2022, during a portal of the star Sirius. Now, she had shared with me the year before that she was actually psychically attacked, because she was really on the front lines, bringing the high level information through. And I believe that's one reason why her body started to break down. And after that psychic attack, which you can, on YouTube, you can watch it, she tells her story, her body started to break down, and it just wasn't functioning at the level that she needed to do her work. And she was in a lot of pain. She wasn't really telling us that she was going to leave. She wanted to kind of just keep it light. But on the day that she left, her daughter called me and said, Mommy says she is going to leave today. And cosmically, that was right at the Sirius gateway. Now, the Sears Gateway is July 4th to July 8th, typically every single year. So she passed very consciously during this portal where she could go right back to her home star. Pretty amazing. On July 4th. She passed at around 5:30 a.m. I was there with her. Other beloveds were with her. And I had the honor of, for 3 hours, bringing the phone to her and calling up her friends, her beloveds, and having them talk to her. So for 4 hours, while she was in this altered state of getting ready to pass, she got to hear all her loved ones say they loved her, they missed her, sing her songs, and she received all that love. It was really beautiful. And then, of course, we all celebrated her with fireworks on that day. The whole nation had fireworks. And what I can say, it was quite a phenomenon when she died. I've never experienced this before, but I know a lot of people that know her, and they were coming to me and saying, Celestine came to me today. Celestine came in my dreams. Celestine came in my meditation. I heard from Celestine. I mean, there were hundreds of people, just so many people saying this. And even people that didn't know Celestine so well, she came to them and gave them messages. And I believed she just understood during this incredible time of the planetary ascension that at that point she could be more powerful on the other side, helping us all and doing her work from that side. I have one story I want to share. A friend named Jeff told me that every time Celestine and him would get together, they put their fingertips together and kiss their fingertips. And that was just something they always did. And so the day after Celestine died, he was working in his garden and a white dove landed on his head. And he put his finger out and the dove went to his finger and he just said spontaneously, for whatever reason, Celestine, and the bird kissed his finger. And he said, Celestine, the bird kissed his finger again. So pretty amazing. And he put a bowl of water right next to his door and hoping the dove would come back, and the dove never came back. But on the day of her memorial, there was a white feather in the water. And that's the kind of magic that always surrounded Celestine and has not stopped. We had an amazing memorial for her. The community just gathered around, it was like a queen in Egypt passing, and all the community coming around and celebrating her so amazingly, because she was an Egyptian queen on many levels and in her past realities. So there was about 50 people that came together and created this incredible ritual memorial for her. And then we had some of her beautiful belongings, and everyone got to take a piece of her beautiful jewelry or clothing or her sacred art home. And a lot of us still have that, and we love that. Here are some of the people that were part of that group that created this amazing ritual for Celestine. We love you, Celestine. Aisha Starr. You were such a bright light to us, and you still are. And I know she's here. She's here and available to everyone. And this is the best way she can serve right now. I want to make you aware that her book is still available on Amazon, The Galactic Earth Council, Reintegration of Earthkin and Starkin. She channeled this through from her star family. Amazing. You can still get it on Amazon. And as I said, she is still coming through. She's tapped me on the shoulder and says she wants to do a whole evening of direct live channeling from Celestine. I'm inviting Jane DeFlorest, who's a professional medium who knew Celestine. I've had 3 sessions with Jane where Celestine came through live. It's over the top amazing. It's definitely Celestine. So Celestine is going to be channeled through her live and answer questions about what's going on in these times and what she has to share from these times, what's happening, how can she work from that side, what her missions still are. We're also going to have Michaela, because Michaela has channeled her new book, which is almost ready to be published. So Michaela's going to share some of that today. She's going to go more in depth on this program on January 9th, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Anyone that signed up here, you can go to planetaryascension.org, Celestine, or CelestineStarSpeaks.com. I'll put it in the chat room, and we'll have it all over Facebook and on email. And that was just so great to share. And now I'm gonna bring on Michaela. Or Michaela, do you have anything to share about what I just shared? Because you had a very special relationship with her too.
Just want to say, glory in the light of the radiant one.
Mhm.
Karadarashkin namokuachiala. Sino only kendara unchis kere forata rakeskinwa. Shindareskine mawati ayasike alonreshianowarike. Celestine, my galactic high priestess mama bear. I realized that I wasn't from around here. During a medicine ceremony, I got to go home to my Pleiadian home planet. I got to go home and feel the star beings there. And I came back into my earth body and was like, wow, I'm really here to love myself. And then I was praying for a high priestess. I needed someone who was connected to the Galactic High Council who could talk me through what I was going through, what I was experiencing. I was able to, I started seeing ships, and she basically talked me through it all. She said, because you're willing to see, it's like they've turned the lights on in their living room for you. It's not for everyone, because not everyone could see what I was seeing. And she really just normalized my experience and brought me home to the truth of who I am. And she always saw me. She saw me as an oracle and as a psychic medium. And even though I didn't know I was a psychic medium in the shamanic world, I didn't realize I could access someone from the spirit realm. She said I could. She said, you're just like me. And I'm like, am I? I didn't see that. So she ordained me as a high priestess at Isis Oasis. She helped me through some of my hardest times. I've always known that I'm here for love and that I'm a high priestess of love and light. I knew that. And she helped me to take the shields down, you know, to to get unguarded and to always remember to bring love and gratitude and appreciation to life, no matter what's going on. And she was a woman who knew who she was here to be. She knew what she was here to be, and she knew how she was here to serve. And even right before she passed, I was at her home and she was still coaching everybody, even though it was really painful. She was always really committed and dedicating to supporting people waking up in this reality and transforming their lives to feel more love and connection and safety and trust, to know that we are guided by something we cannot see. But she just always reminded us to have faith and trust and be able to see that. And she asked me 3 days before she left her body, she looked me square in the eyes and she said, Michaela, I am going to be leaving this earth plane and I'm going to leave my body. We've been working on a project that I've been working on for the last few years. And I'm wondering if after I leave here, if I can still keep working with you beyond the veils to get this out. And of course I said yes, because I always said yes to her. I always suspended my disbelief around her, because there's just something about her energy and the potency of her transmission. She was the most grounded, focused. Whenever she got on stage, she doesn't have stage fright. She always knew how to command an audience. because she literally was love and light, and she is, not was, because she is everywhere and everything, in the sky, in the trees. And yes, these messages, she does come like this. I also felt white feathers. Like I would keep finding these white feathers, and I knew those were some of the gifts that she gave to me. So I've been channeling since she left. She gave me a whisper. She comes to me in my ears and she tells me what to do. And she asked me to go to my phone and to use suggestive text to get the message out. And I was like, okay. She's like, if you go to your phone and I'll give you at least 10 words to choose from. And you can ask me anything and I'll help you respond, but you have to listen. You have to slow your mind down to be able to hear. I wasn't as good as I am now with it. In punctuation, because I would always read the messages afterwards and my punctuation was all off. And after I went back to read it and I repunctuated it, I was like, oh, there's the meaning of it. But I've gotten better and better. And she's supporting me to write a book called Inherent Luminosity, Becoming Whole. And it's a very potent and powerful book. And anybody who reads it and touches it is going to be transformed, because her message, it basically is a book about love, because that's her whole message. Choose love and win. And this inherent luminosity is our innate well-being and the truth of who we are. And it's so important to come home to that. And she wanted me to share this poem with you tonight, called A Symphony of Light. You are the poet of your own unfolding, the dreamer awake, the story you're holding. Life is a dance, mystery filled and divine, with laughter the medicine and joy the sign. Let thoughts be the bridge, but never the cage. Rewrite your story on a golden page. The past is no anchor, the future no chain. It's love in the now that erases the pain. Breathe in the light that sings through your veins. Release what no longer serves. Let it wane. Your heart is a compass. Your mind is a guide. And within you, the universe quietly resides. Let go of the grasping. Surrender the fight. For wisdom emerges in soft, sacred light. The answers you seek, they are all here all along, in the silence between life's verses and song. When shadows appear and life tests your grace, know you're divinely aligned, held in space. You're not here to fix, to force, or to flee. You're here to be love and simply be free. So rise in your purpose. Let kindness expand. The world needs your touch, your light, and your hand. From Mother Earth's pulse to the stars in the sky, your radiance uplifts and your presence imbibes. You are the gift the cosmos foretold, a story of greatness, a soul brave and bold. So trust in the process, the magical ride. The universe whispers, I'm here by your side. And that whisper is Celestine. And she is so here with us in every moment. And she wanted me to share this message of awakening the new earth with you now. Behold, the hour has finally arrived, and the new earth is no longer a dream, but a living, tangible reality. We are one, woven together, interrelated, interdependent, interconnected. The veil of separation is lifting. No longer will we speak of us and them. In unity, we reclaim our divine inheritance, wielding our creative gifts to restore balance and harmony to the trials of humanity. Our greatest triumph lies in our natural, God-given resilience, the unwavering commitment to persevere, even in the face of adversity. This divine strength reminds us that our infinite potential far exceeds the shadows of hatred, jealousy, greed, and corruption that once clouded our reality. Though the days of inequity, fear, and despair, the days of famine, disease, anger, and division may at times feel endless, we persist with courage. We trust in the power within ourselves and in the unity we share. By kindling faith and embodying an altruistic heart rooted in care, gratitude, sharing, and forgiveness, we illuminate not only true path to transcend human suffering and create a world of lasting peace. What a sacred and magnificent moment this is as we plant seeds of compassion, forgiveness, and mercy, proving that through love and an open heart, the suffering of the world is healed. What an incredible achievement to harness the power of overcoming any challenge by shifting focus and maintaining a positive and uplifted mindset. This breakthrough reaffirms an eternal truth. Where my attention goes, there I am. Where thought goes, energy flows. With unwavering faith and courage, we shatter the illusion of powerlessness, reclaiming the infinite potential of our true essence. This awakening of grace and harmony is ushering in innovative ways to nurture prosperity and opening new pathways for peace and unity to blossom with effortless beauty. We now stand as a living testament to respect and integrity, honoring all life with profound reverence, peace, and harmony. It is the cornerstone of this new era on earth. Welcome home, beloved children of life. Never forget you are enough simply by being. You are deeply loved, infinitely appreciated, and safe for all eternity. I am always with you, now and forever. Glory in the light of the Radiant One.
Wow.
So the book is a lot like that, channeled messages about how to become whole. Because when healing becomes healed, Deborah, what happens next? It becomes whole. And we are on the precipice of coming into the golden age, because what she told me is that the golden age is not a time, because time does not exist in the realm of love, but that the golden age is actually an awareness, an awarefulness. I like to make up words because it's really important to bring our full attention to the present moment, knowing that the present moment is benevolent. Now is benevolent, and it is the only thing that truly exists. The past is old, stale memories that reminds us that we are still alive because we have memories, and the future is a prayer away, a thought away. Peace is one thought away. Kindness is one thought away. And we are on the precipice of awakening the whole world. And this is the tipping point. And I feel like this book and her message is going to support so many people's lives. So I'm really, really honored that she chose me and others too, like Jane, to get her message out to you, Deborah, and to you, Scott. You are also carrying her flame and her message. You know, it's just, we're so tuned in, and this is the moment to bring this into the earth now. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. I'm going to read what Dr. Laura just wrote. She wrote, Michaela, your poem and channeling are absolutely beautiful. From Celestine spirit and your lips to manifestation right now throughout our awakening world, ahead of the awakening word. Question, is Celestine available to anyone? Like anyone who's listening, is she available? And I'm seeing Deborah nodding her head.
She's available to everyone. If you want to call her in, call her by her name and pray that she comes, and tell her you're ready to listen and hear what the next best step for your life is. And if you can slow down and get out of your head, because really what I'm realizing is being an oracle or a channel, to be present, we have to stop thinking so much and get out of all the chatter And so I've been learning how to do that in order to have this come through. And if you can just slow down and slow down to the speed of love, she's right there.
Beautiful. I love that. Slowing down to the speed of love. That's awesome. A
And as
lot
I
of
shared, there was so many people she came to that hadn't even known her before, but met her during her death. And they've come to her in meditations and they've been with her. So she is still there to be a high priestess, high teacher for these times, more than ever at this time.
Yeah. And she knocked on your shoulder, and Scott's shoulder, called me, said, we want you. What do you have? What are you sharing? And I really feel like she's orchestrating all of this. So
Mm.
she is a lucid dreamer of the shamanic realm. She is a bridge of heaven and earth. And we can all be that bridge. That's what I feel like I do. I help support people who are looking in the wrong direction just to look in the right direction for answers. And once you understand the spiritual truths and principles of reality, and you come to understand how human psychology really works, not how we were fed, which I feel like the book will help support that. People waking up to that rather than the conditioning feel that something from the outside world causes your feelings. So she just shares the truth is that everything is inside out. Life comes from the inside, and everything that we're feeling is coming from the meaning that we're making about it. And when we slow down to the speed of love and bring gratitude and compassion and forgiveness and understanding to ourselves and to each other, that's when heaven on earth happens. And this is happening within each and every one of us. And I'm
Celestine,
doing, yeah.
Celestine was an example of the love frequency. She had so much love for everyone. That's why when everyone heard about her passing, it was like this rising of everyone because she had touched so many people in the heart. And that is the golden age, is living in the love frequency and operating from the love frequency. So that's what she taught us, and that's what we're moving into, and that's what we're doing here with the Global Peace Tribe as well.
There's a question. What does the last part of her name, Isha Starr, mean or represent?
Probably Aisha is part of her galactic name because she started using that as soon as she started really coming into that role. So I would assume Aisha is her galactic name and Celestine Starr is the name that she took on for this incarnation.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Definitely. I mean, that Celestine, I mean, she is from the stars. I don't know how many of you read the Celestine, celestial prophecies, but these are the Celestine prophecies, and they're here for all of us. So it's a beautiful gift. And probably, Scott, you will get contact and you can ask her, is that you? Just like that dove message, and she will respond. And yeah.
Not going to put you on the spot, but would you feel comfortable actually seeing if she has a message for us tonight in this moment?
It's all love. When you choose love, you win. And happiness is an inside job that you want to arrive on time for. Happiness is not a thought, it's a feeling. Peace is not a thought, it's a feeling. Tranquility, all of these things, we have been looking in the wrong direction. We have been in our heads around trying to understand it intellectually. And she's telling me that it's time to go deeper, to deepen into the heart's vibration. And she wanted me to tell you that the heart is like a watermelon tourmaline. It's not just green, it's green and pink. She just told me to tell you that. And so when you imagine your heart, imagine this green and pink watermelon tourmaline and this energy where love does not need to be spoken to be heard. So when we slow down to the speed of love, we can see the love in everything. Fear is misunderstood love. Hatred is misunderstood love. Everything is just love. And what is love? What is love not?
Beautiful.
And the galactics, the High Council, When you say glory in the light of the radiant one, that is letting them know that you're giving permission for them to come and work with you. And they also need permission to work with planet Earth. So you have to say that it's okay that they come and support you and work with you, and that you say that you're ready to see them, because if you don't know what you're looking at, it's hard to see, because some people have a hard time because they go in their head like, nah, that can't be a ship. And as soon as you think that, you feel that, and then it's impossible to see it. So that was one thing she taught me, was to suspend your disbelief and to know that they're in the clouds. I mean, they do drawings across the sky shape. I've got so many images, and in the show with Deborah on January 9th, please join us, because there will be some really potent transmissions there. And we have video footage of these ships. She would come and she would show, I mean, you can't deny it. But then I was wondering why I was one of the only people that could see it in the Bay Area. And she said, again, because you're willing, they turn their lights on in their living room, but not everybody can see it. So if you're willing to see it, if you're open to see that we're not alone and that there's nothing to be afraid of, they're actually here to support us, to make sure we don't blow each other up, right? So our planet is kind of like, it can be very dense down here, right? We work with a lot of ego and a lot of things that are really dense, but we have support from other realms if you allow it. So we are very healing, and this love, tis the season to smile for no reason. Tis the season to be grateful for no reason, and to share joy and compassion and understanding, and just love for love's sake, not because you need someone to love you back. Really, just do it because you can. Do it because you are love. Love is the highest vibration, and the future is a vibe, and groove is in the heart. It is right here. This is the groove of life. Life is a vibration. Love is a vibration. And when you get to a certain vibration, a certain consciousness, and we have many layers of consciousness, and another way of saying that is awareness. At a certain awareness and consciousness, you can't be gaslit anymore, guys. Impossible. When you reach a spiritual truth, you know who you are, the truth of who you are as love. So nobody can project something onto you and you believe it. And that's very exciting. That's one of the wonderful things about waking up to the truth of who you are, which is what I help people, support people with in my coaching practice, is I point people, like I said, in the right direction when they're looking in the wrong one for answers, because we're just living in a misunderstanding and miscommunication. And really, there are no problems and issues. It's just a state of mind. And when you understand how states of minds work and belief structure works, and you understand how thoughts work and where feelings come from, you can rewire yourself for resilience for life. Because the truth is, we're gonna have hard, challenging experiences in the outside world. But when we choose with our free will, with the power of thought and free will, to decide to stay in a loving vibration and not get caught up in getting angry and bitter and frustrated and get caught in the drama triangle of victim, persecutor, rescuer. When we decide it's more important to live in a good feeling than to get wrapped up in what's going on outside of you, that's when the profound shift hits the fan.
I loved how you said a myth understanding.
Yeah, that's the next book. The myth understanding.
So I want to show people a little bit about donating to you to make the book happen, and also another promotion for January 9th. And I also want to welcome, we've got some old friends who joined us. Christine is with us tonight. Dara Haviland is back. And Deborah writes, being in our hearts are the sanctuary of our souls, and we can receive channelings from beings like Celestine. Yes, and in the enlightenment of our souls, we can be in the unity, the true love frequency, the golden age. Thank you, Michaela and Deborah. And absolutely. So people can support the publication of this book. And that's what tonight's fundraising is all about. We want to support Michaela to get this book done. I'm certainly going to donate. And you can donate by Venmo or PayPal, or just visit her website. And we're going to go visit her website right now. And of course, all things Michaela, she has a unique name to her website because that's just the way Michaela is. And it's partnership.org.
Dot us.
Us.
So maybe it will be Oregon in the future.
Yeah, you may want to get that just in case. There it is.
Yeah.
Partnership.us, US. And there's beautiful Michaela. And this is where you can schedule a free call. She is a brilliant coach and guide, works with people in many, many different ways. Where can we find on the website where people can donate to get the book?
Oh, well, I haven't put that on there yet. I'll get on that immediately, but I am an international best-selling author as well, Manifesting Magical Moments, and that came out this year, so that's on there. But I'll get on putting that on there right away. So thank you
And I
for
put it
bringing
in the
that up.
chat room just now too.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate that.
And here is her Manifesting Magical Moments Amazon best-selling book. So if you click there, it takes you to Amazon, and there it is. Beautiful, beautiful. You know, you had sent me some of the excerpts from the book, and I was really touched. I put it in the chat box, but I want to read one piece.
Please do.
Celestine taught us to embrace the human experience with wonder, to suspend disbelief, and to welcome the unknown with an open heart. Her legacy reminds us that life is a precious gift, one meant to be shared and celebrated. Through her example, we learned that love is the answer, the force that unites us and propels us forward. Though the world can feel overwhelming at times, Celestine's love remains with us, an eternal guiding star. When the path seems unclear, her presence is everywhere, in the laughter we share, in the kindness we extend, in the peace we cultivate with ourselves. And she taught us three simple but profound truths. So I want to share those three truths. Number one, we come from greatness and are destined for greatness. Two, we hold the power to heal, to love, and to rise. And three, even in the face of difficulty, there is always a way forward. So thank you, Michaela, for bringing her through and bringing it through your channel. You know, it is your unique channel that does this. And I want to give you some props for a moment. I had the good fortune to interview Richard Bach. He wrote a book called Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Some of us who are older remember it. And he tells a really interesting story about that. He was just this guy who was an airline pilot. And this seagull shows up and literally gives him the book. He writes the book down. It becomes this huge bestseller. They make a movie out of it. Neil Diamond made an album out of it. And all of a sudden, literally, he has millions of dollars coming in. And he feels like he doesn't deserve it because he didn't do anything in his reality. So he goes to visit Jane Roberts, who back in the day channeled Seth, who was one of the great channels back in the day. And what Seth said to her, and I paraphrase for you, dear Michaela, is yes, on the one hand, it's universal information, because everything is universal information, because there's only one of us here on the highest level. But it takes your unique commitment to bring it through, and to trust, and to put it on paper, and to get it out to us, and to put it into a book form. It's a lot of work. And it's coming through your beautiful channel because you are such a love being. You are such an embodiment of love. So thank you, Celestine, but thank you, Michaela.
Oh, I'm so honored. Thank you. I'm receiving that. It's true. I've been working on myself my whole life to be able to be a radiant, divine light of inspiration for others. And this has been a 2-year process. And it feels like I'm like, okay, this is taking a while, but nothing happens before it's time, and everything is possible. And the time is now. I'm on mission, and I'm on purpose, and I'm here to help transform the world one person at a time. So thank you, because you're also one of these missionaries, myth and fairies. Yep, it's true. And I feel like we got to do a birthday song for you, Scott. I feel like that's really appropriate. So I'm actually curious if everybody did unmute and we could do a call and response. Would that just sound kind of crazy, or
I would
Well,
love
it'll
to.
sound-
sound?
Can we,
It would sound
can we just
crazy,
mention
however.
the show again and then
Oh
complete
yeah,
it?
let's mention the show, Deborah. You got it.
Yeah, would you like to screen share?
Absolutely. Let me pull it up.
So
Here it is.
definitely want to honor Scott. Just want to mention one more time. This is what she's having us do. This is going to be a total live channeling of Celestine. So Jane DeForest is a very professional medium. She has channeled through many people beyond the veil, and I had 3 sessions with her and they were amazing. You could ask her anything. So this is definitely going to be a live channeling of Celestine coming right through. We're going to be able to ask her questions, and then we're going to have Michaela again go even more depth of the book that's coming out and whatever Celestine is going to tell her to come through. So this is going to be a whole 2 hours totally with Celestine as directed from her through Jane, Michaela, and myself. So I invite you January 9th, 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, and it's celestinespeaks.com. I'll put it in the chat room, celestinespeaks.com. And please join us, because it's going to be really wonderful.
Beautiful.
I'm really excited.
Deborah, there's a question for you. What book would you recommend for learning more about Mary Magdalene?
Yeah, there's so many books, and there's this one that came to me as right before I went on the trip, and I'm going to find that and put it in the chat room. I've just got to remember the name of it. But yes, I will get that and put it in the chat room.
Okay. All right. Michaela, Deborah, thank you so much. Of course, I'll be there. I'm guessing almost all of us will be there on January 9th. That's a Thursday night, so it's perfect. And I'll continue to remind everybody about it throughout the shows. And thank you very much. And you want to do your thing, Michaela?
It's the birthday song now. Yes, I'm going to ask everyone to unmute. And if everybody, if it does sound horrible, I'll mute everybody, because it usually does, but it might be awesome. Let's try.
That's right. So I'm gonna do it, and then it's gonna be call and response. You ready, everyone? Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
We're so glad you're alive.
We're
So
so
glad
glad you're
you're
alive.
alive.
You're a gift to the earth.
You're a
Gift to the earth.
Bless the day of your birth.
Bless the day of your birth.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to me.
Every day we are born.
Every day we are born.
Every day we are free.
Every day we are free.
Happy birthday, everybody. Give them some fingers. Okay, Scott.
I'm gonna mute everybody. So here we go.
Well, thank you, Michaela. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Omar Shar. Thank you, everybody. I'm touched. It felt good. And for a musical number that will be a little bit more harmonious, I'm going to turn it over to Omar Shar for our mid-song Omar Shar moment.
That was awesome, Michaela, and everybody. That sounded like, I don't know, coyotes in a high desert. So, but I got the gist of it. And normally I'm playing deep and meaningful songs, but this is me going through the Christmas spirit. And so I'm going to play, it's not going to be a deep and meaningless song, but it's going to be kind of like a kid's song, a Christmas song. And so please sing along, but remain unmuted. And just know that every time you get highlighted by Scott on your video, it asks you to unmute. Don't, please. It's just one of those Zoom things. And are we ready?
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. Ready? Oh, bring us some figgy pudding. Oh, bring us some figgy pudding. Oh, bring us some figgy pudding and a cup of good cheer. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. This is deep and meaningful. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. So bring some out here. Good tidings we bring to you and your king. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. Alright, only 2 more verses. But we all like figgy pudding. We all like figgy pudding. We all like figgy pudding, so bring some out here. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. Last time. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All right, now my credibility's totally shot.
I just want to know, has anybody out there even had figgy pudding?
Dude, really? It's figs and it's made into a pudding.
I've never seen figgy pudding in my life. I always hear it. I've never seen it. So
No, but you can go and you can get the almost go to Fig Newton's from Mr. What's his name? Newman, Paul Newman. They make some great Fig Newtons and they're kind of similar.
yeah, but that's a fig Newton, not figgy pudding.
No, but you check them all in a pot, shove some cream in, boil it up, you have figgy pudding.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And thank you everybody for moving and grooving. We've got some wonderful guests, a lot of people, and we've got some old friends that have come back. We've got some new friends here tonight. And again, thank you, Deborah and Michaela, for bringing Celestine through in such a beautiful way. I want to take a moment. I'm going to actually be the guest. The next guest is me. And I want to talk a little bit about the Christ. You know, my mother, God bless her soul, used to get very upset when people would call it Xmas. she would say, don't take the Christ out of Christmas, which is right on. And so in honor of my mother, who gave birth to me 69 years ago today, thank you, Mom. It's really important for us to, I want to remind us all of what I believe is the true meaning of Christmas. Now, of course, on one level, the true meaning of Christmas is that it's my birthday. So let's all remember that. But there's an even deeper meaning than Scott's birthday. And there's a deeper meaning than Santa Claus and all the lights and all the wonderful, beautiful traditions that we have formed. And that is that when Yeshua, also known as Jesus, said, I am the way, the truth, the life. No man cometh to the Father but by me. He was not referring to an organization started several hundred years later. He was not referring to the Roman Catholic Church or any church. His name was Jesus of Nazareth, or Yeshua of Nazareth. His name was not Jesus Christ. He is Jesus who attained the Christ consciousness. The Christ consciousness is available to any and all of us. And we see it in a lot of the guests tonight. Honestly, I saw it in Michaela while she was sharing. And when she's in that state of absolute love, bliss that she is living in, that is the Christ consciousness coming through. And during this extraordinary time of human history, where we really are obviously on a turning point of, we need to raise our consciousness rapidly. Our consciousness needs to reach a high enough level to manage the technology that we now have, because we have the technology to destroy the planet, and in many ways are destroying the planet. I personally believe Mother Earth Gaia, she'll be fine. But I feel tremendous suffering for the species that are suffering, the species that go extinct because of us, and obviously the human suffering. And Mother Earth Gaia, she's been around a long time. She'll continue to be around for a long time, regardless of what we do. Some say that there have already been 5 different human experiments on this planet, and each one got flooded out or wiped out, and we kind of started all over again. I'm not sure if that's true or not. That'd be a good question to ask Celestine. But right now is the opportunity for all of us.
Still during the program.
Deborah, you need to mute, please. We can hear you. Let me find her and mute her.
I got it, brother.
Thank you. Where was it? So on this Christ Mass, my message is, let's all in our own unique way really take the time to bring in the light. Now you can look at it, if you relate to Yeshua and Christ, you can see it as bringing in the Christ consciousness. If you prefer another way, that's beautiful. It can just be bringing in the light and being a lighthouse to light the way for others, as well as for yourself. But as we heard Michaela share in several different ways, through her embodiment and through her sharing of Celestine, we all have the ability to be absolutely divine. And we may have our stories. We all have our own unique shame story. We all have our unique disillusionment story. And those stories keep us small. There's a lot of cultural stories that keep us small. There may be parental or family stories that shamed you. You know, most of us were shamed about our sexuality or about our intelligence or lack thereof, or whatever it may be. So knowing what it is that is your story that keeps you small, being willing to let that go. Put that story in the fire of the love of, again, whoever you relate to, whichever archetype, whether it's Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, Celestine, whomever it may be, that story, that shame story, or whatever it is that holds you back into the fire. And as we prepare to enter 2025, which clearly is going to be a year of very big change. It's going to be a big year of change, one way or the other. And for most of us are in North America, so we're going to be very impacted by the new president coming in. And I like what I listened to Elizabeth April's channeling about Trump. And she says he's the great disruptor. His sole mission is to disrupt. And I don't mean that as a political statement one way or the other. I think it's a good way to see it. There's going to be a lot of disruption. There's going to be a lot of change. And now more than ever, each and every one of us, let's shine our light of love. Let's be those beacons. Let's tune in and let Celestine guide us. And whatever other archetypes you relate to, whether they are angels or aliens, ancestors, saints, sages, whoever they are, ask them to come in and to guide you and really practice the real meaning of Christmas, Christ Mass, the returning of the light. We are those lighthouses. We are those beacons. And let's really make that our commitment for this holiday season, holy day season, as I like to call it. And let's make that our commitment for 2025, because it's a big year. And now is the time, I think most of us probably have felt that we were born at this time for a reason. I was born on Christmas Day. I grew up with a Messiah complex. I literally thought when I was a little kid, I thought it was up to me to save the world. And by the time I was 10 years old, I had the beginning of an ulcer, and 10-year-olds don't get ulcers. But I was so freaked out because I was old enough to begin to understand how big the world was and how little I was. Unfortunately, I had a very beautiful spiritual experience in which I saw, it's up to all of us this time. It's not just one person. It's all of us playing our part. And every single one of us has a role to play. Sometimes we have many roles to play and they change. Whether it's Omashar bringing his music and raising our vibration through his music. Michaela through her incredible wordsmithing and now bringing Celestine through. Deborah Giusti through about 34 things that she does at once, because that's Deborah, producing all sorts of things. Sometimes it's just holding space, just bringing the light through is an important job. So that's my message. And I really wanted to kind of bring that out. And yeah. Oh, and Deborah has put her favorite Mary Magdalene book up. Well, she says she has, but it hasn't showed up yet. So thank you, Connie and Andrew. She says, brilliantly expressed. Let there be light. Let us become the Christ consciousness of the Sacred Heart. Absolutely. Thank you, Deborah. George Noble points out that Elizabeth April says getting Trump again is like yanking a Band-Aid off quickly. And having Kamala Harris would have been slow and painful. Yeah, I think that's probably true. I also, honestly, if Kamala Harris had been elected, there would have been a civil war. There were a lot of militias ready to go to war. And so I'm grateful that we're not going through a violent civil war right now. So I'm going to bring Michaela and Omashar up. They don't know that I'm planning on doing this, but surprise, surprise, surprise. Because I'm curious if either of you want to add anything to kind of the message that I was delivering or your own Christ Mass message.
Well, yes, you are speaking everything that I would have said, Scott, really, because we all know that the time is now, and it's easy to say that, but the time is so ripe for us to be spending at least 51% of our time thinking towards our creator, our divine light spark within ourselves. Because up until now, we might have spent 100% of time just projecting into the outside world. But you need to start projecting into the inner world and get your questions answered there. So the momentum of the habit of our thought forms and reaching out for answers can be completely disrupted, can be completely wiped out and forgotten. And the last quite a while in my life, I probably spend, I'm up to about 60% now, maybe even more, where I'm reading, or I'm always thinking about source, always thinking about the in, always thinking about the light that I'm becoming, always thinking about Mother Divine balancing in my life, about the divine heart of the mother, the soul coming in and taking dominion again, finally. 2025, from my perspective, is the year of the divine feminine. This is the time when it gets fully anchored, and there ain't nothing that's going to stop it. It may be a bunch of cockroaches in the outer world scuttling to find out where they can go. However, it is not going to be like that. But the moral of what I'm saying now is that the thing about Celestine saying about, I forget exactly what Michaela was saying about her and belief, give up disbelief whatsoever. And as much faith as I had, I used to have faithlessness as well, and disbelief. And what I would say is, with 5 years at least now, I mean, it's been many, but of continually every single day, no matter what I feel, focusing on the divine, it's got its own momentum. And now I feel a voice talking to me from inside out, and it's almost the same volume as the outside in. And I took myself off. I don't watch any news. It's been almost 4 years since my last confession of being without news. And there's nothing that you need to hear that you don't end up hearing vicariously anyway. And it's really taking it's really taking the tension out of my body. And what I know now is the rest of the tension is caused by my own thought forms. And most of my own thought forms have been built up over the last 897 lifetimes I've had, plus all the conditioning within this lifetime. It has so much momentum that it's almost a slam dunk, because everything that is in my mind is just memory. It's not even anything new. It's just memory. Holy crap. It's just like, it's just a tape recorder, a floppy disk. And so from that perspective, I don't need to look at any of it, because there's nothing new under the sun in my mind. It's all the sun here. And as we collectively join together and don't feel like we're these little islands all trying to save the world by ourselves, and as when I pray, I've almost got it down to pray for us all, because it used to be very selfish. Oh, me, I need my new motorcycle and my new this, and let me be the enlightened one. But it's not. There's only one of us here, and so we have to, from my perspective, we had to wish it upon everybody. Every single body, every Trump, every Putin, every despot, every saint, everybody. There's only one of us here. It doesn't matter what flavor we're wearing. We are all coming home, no matter what flavor we're wearing. And there's enough of us now. There's enough of us now rising that I can actually feel it. And when my prayer is about us as the collective one rising, I feel the response from the rest of us within this consciousness. And I think I'll stop there. Michaela, your turn.
First of all, hang on, before we go to Michaela, which I'm looking forward to hearing what she has to say. But a lot of people are commenting. Dr. Laura writes, Starr, I do not listen to the news either. Yay. Susan Bloomquist writes, Starr, I hear you saying how important it is to focus on our own love and to shine this. Mark Danisovsky, we love you, Mark. I'm so glad to see you. And your friend next to you. Mark writes, that's the message I needed to hear, Starr.
Thank you. It's a challenge sometimes to speak the truth, because on these shows and on all of the other things we've been exposed to, especially in the last 3-4 years, there's a million different perspectives, and I can cherry pick from through all of them and find some truth in it. And we're all at different levels of awakening. However, there's no race to get home, and we're all almost home right now. In fact, if we could take this last little skin off, we'd be amazed that we are already home. And I very rarely can speak a truth like that, because I feel that I'm speaking into this potpourri of opinions, and it's only going to be heard as to the level of what consciousness each person hearing it is at. And so there's a tendency in me to try and synthesize it and put out a generic a message. Whereas the easiest message is forget everything outside of yourself. Remember 100% of what's in you, and we're done. But that doesn't really grok for everybody. So I'm going to zip it now, Michaela. So.
Thank you,
Wow.
Ocean. Thank you.
Yeah, that was potent, and I love it. I don't watch the news either, because we have to question reality, and everything's deep fake now, and you know, we know that there's a whole thing of trying to hypnotize people not to be able to have basic common sense, and that fear program. But I love that you brought up Christ consciousness, because she talks about Jesus in the book, actually, and Christ consciousness. He was like a master teacher of staying in a positive state of mind, no matter what's going on. If you bring love to it, you stay present in the now, and you are protected for eternity in that state. Because what I've come to realize is that positivity is more real than negativity. And how I know that is because of the felt sense experience that I have around what it feels like to be in a negative state of mind. And when I'm feeling negative, or when any of us are feeling negative, we tend to be belligerent. We tend to feel defended and need to protect ourselves. And we tend to think that there's problems and issues everywhere, and that whatever problem or issues in front of us is like a systemic issue, and this is just the tip of the iceberg of a real big problem, and it just feels really disconnected and not very good. And I've realized that coming home to the truth of who we are, the truth of who I am, that if I can do it, anyone can do it. And really, that's to stay in a positive state of mind. Because when you're in a positive state of mind, the felt sense is you feeling connected, you're feeling seen, heard, loved, you're able to bring gratitude and appreciation. And that's when we know we're in the now. So when we're in a negative state of mind, we're actually not in the now. We're in our head. Remember what I was talking about, going into the intellect? Because anytime we're judging, whether we're judging ourselves or we're judging another, we slip out of the now and into a negative thought form. And it's only the negative thought form that's causing the negative feedback. And when you see the truth of that we're just feeling our thinking, and that we have consciousness that goes up and down, and this consciousness, we can say it's awareness, or we can call it bandwidth. But when our bandwidth drops down and we get into the rumble strips in our mind, you know, the shitty committee, the thought swamp, the stinky thoughts, we start believing our own thinking. So, because the mind is very tricky. So what's happening right now, I talked about the golden age, that awareness. What I see happening right now, in a global thing that's happening, is we're shifting out of the left brain, the little mind. That's where the ego lives. And science has studied the brain, and they realize that the left brain will literally make something up if it doesn't understand it. And not only will it make something up and misuse imagination, create drama and stuff and stories, but when it does that, it gets a dopamine hit. So you get rewarded for going down the wrong path. But the reward for stepping into the higher mind, the right brain, that's the mystical side. That's where deep wisdom comes from. That's where great ideas come from. That's where genius happens. That's where creativity happens. when we step into the right brain, and that's what I think is the golden age, is the tipping point, going from left to right, bridging. So we don't have the left brain and the ego controlling the show. Christ consciousness is like using your free will to decide what you're willing to tolerate. And when you no longer tolerate a negative mind state and believe that, because that's the problem, is we end up believing our negative state of mind. Sometimes we get hoodwinked by thinking that it's real. But what I realize is, as soon as you don't give it any energy and you don't feed the negative thought, because it's easy, thoughts are like candy and they can be very seductive. And what happens is, if you eat too much candy, you get sick. And I say that happens with thoughts too. So if you're staying in a negative state of mind for too long, it will actually make you ill. And personally, that's where I think all disease comes from. Dis-ease. It's actually stems from our thought forms. And right now we're learning to clean up those thought forms, and we're ambassadors of love, telling God, because God is very curious. God wants to know, what are you gonna do with this precious life? How are you going to respond to this challenging and difficult situation? Are you gonna react and get angry and victimized by it and want to persecute? No. Well, you can. That's a choice, but it actually has consequences called really hard feelings, depression, anxiety, stress. And we all have the capacity to wake up to this Christ consciousness and allow our right brain, that mystical side that's been guiding us all along, source, God, creator, universal intelligence, whatever you call it, that allows our heart to beat and our lungs to breathe. Once we see that we're being guided and supported, and that we can have faith and trust that all of this is working out, then our nervous systems calm down. And as soon as the nervous system relaxes and we're starting to trust ourselves that we'll know what to do in the moment, right? We don't know what to do before the moment arrives, but all we need to do is respond to the moment and respond with a good attitude. Then we can feel more spacious. We become more psychic. We become more connected. It's just an easier way to vibrate. The other way is old and it's broken and it doesn't work. And you have to just realize that sometimes when you stay looped into these negative reactivation spirals, that there's a part of you that really enjoys it, because we do have a sadomasochistic side that enjoys being constricted, fighting, getting upset with things, watching the news, getting triggered, getting all wrapped up. And you know what? Sometimes it's just better to just drop the rope in your mind with the monster that you have in your mind and realize, well, that's a thought. And once you realize, well, that's a thought, then all of a sudden you realize you're the thinker and not the thoughts. And when you realize you're the thinker and not the thoughts, you can slow down enough to make a choice for yourself to decide to bring love back in to the game. Because this is a game, and winning for me is living in a good feeling, a room temperature feeling, not too hot, not too cold, but just right. And that's what Christ consciousness is. That's what I believe it is. It's living in a loving, positive, room temperature feeling, enjoying life with gratitude, humility, devotion, and respect, and knowing that when hardships arrive, that God just wants to know, how are you going to respond? What are you going to do with that?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a gift. The challenges that we face every day is a gift.
Mm-hmm.
The gift of presence.
Mm-hmm.
The gift of love. So when you see that and when you feel that deeply, when you really hear it, because there's hearing and then there's hearing. There's seeing and then there's seeing. There's knowing and then there's knowing. And belief, I believe it's going to be okay. That's before know. Okay. So if you have a belief, you probably are in the space of, I hope it's going to work out. So Hope and faith. Hope helps you to float up, to have faith. And when you have faith, you just know, but you can't let anyone, it's ineffable how you know. I can't tell you how I know that everything is going to be just fine and that we are going to create a sustainable earth. I feel like there's going to be a separation of the planets, and there's going to be two different earths. Okay. The one where all the deeply evil people cannot go where we're going, just so you guys know. So that evil energy, that darkness, we don't need to really be concerned about it, because it's just going to go in a different direction. But we're going to create a sustainable earth, and the meek will inherit the earth, says the Bible. And it's true.
Well, I want to come in for a moment on that, Michaela, because we could do a whole show about the bifurcation, and I also have always had, I mean, for decades, I've had I'll call it the vision, the perception that there's going to be a moment in time where there's going to be a splitting off. And there might actually be multiple worlds. One clarification I just want to say is it's not in my reality necessarily that the evil people will be in one place. I prefer to just say the people that are still in us versus them, the people that haven't embraced oneness. And those of us that our job is to really embrace the oneness of all. And so those of us that are done with violence, and that includes not just physical violence, but violent thoughts about other people, as we make that choice to let go of violent thoughts about ourselves, about others, that's the ticket. And the truth is, heaven on earth is already here. So maybe someday we could even do a whole show about the bifurcation.
Yeah. I've never heard that word, but what I've heard is that it's okay if you haven't fully embraced the oneness and you're in the us versus them. You can still come. Actually, if you're insecure and you're just lost, you can still come. But when I mean evil, I mean when you have a super dark agenda to try to take over in dark ways. I don't even want to express that on the show, but I think we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That doesn't get to come, but you can still be a little lost and insecure, because basically the common mental illness of our time is insecurity. It's okay. We all have it. I have it. You have it. I didn't really see Celestine having much insecurity. That was one of the things. I was like, she's just not insecure. And that's where I was just in devotion to that level of grace. But it's okay to be insecure and not know what oneness means, because you don't need to know. You just need to now, Scott. And when we raise the vibration to a certain degree, we're a 100th monkey, right? So all boats rise with the tide. So as we raise our vibration, we raise the vibration for everyone around us. And I like what Brashar says. Brashar, the channel. He said that, this was an early channeling, but he's like, by 2013, for one person that embraces the truth of who they are, they will influence 100 people in their radius. By 2024, for every one person that embraces the truth of who they are, there's 1,000 people in our radius that we impact and influence to wake up. And it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And that's how we create the new earth. Each and every one of us shining our diamonds on the inside, getting all that emoji poop off. All those like past hurts and all that stuff. Because we are becoming what? We're becoming whole. And it's a process, mastery. It's not a place. Enlightenment is in a place. It's a mastery of presence. And as love, you master presence. And when you're in the mastery of presence, you're able to direct your thinking to what's in the highest good for everyone. And that's our natural state.
Beautiful. Oh, Mushar just wrote in response to you. Let me let Frode in. He wrote, where is it? A great appreciation for you somewhere in here. Aha. Well said, Michaela. Thank you for these deep insights and clarifications. And yes, it's time for purification at all levels. And a reminder one last time that you can get all things Michaela at her website, which is partnership.us. Partnership.us. And thank you, Michaela. And just the beginning. Definitely we'll look forward to seeing you on January 9th, and we'll be conversing. I want to talk to you before then. So
Absolutely, Scott. I look forward to it. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
you. God bless you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
All right, we're going to wrap up soon. We're going to conclude with an Omashar song. I want to acknowledge we have a new friend with us who has been sharing a little bit in the chat box. I don't know if you pronounce it Brigid.
It's Bridget.
Bridget. Hi, Bridget. And yeah, she's sharing about the Essene teachings of Yeshua. And I definitely would love to learn more about what you know about. So let's talk privately after the show sometime in the next few days. And I'd love to learn more about that. That is the kind of thing that we have on the show. Last week, in fact, we had Neil Gar talking about Yeshua's time in Egypt. We had, there she is. Hello. So yes, I would love for so let's connect, talk about that, and have you come on the show and share more about that.
I would be delighted. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. I am going to conclude this because I've got actually my Tiburon family is waiting for me to come up and have dinner with them. So I'm just so grateful for this community, this family, and all the different communities that we intersect with. Tangela and Soul Search, Ben Bowler and Unity Earth, Deborah Giusti and the 14 different communities that she's involved with, including the Evolutionary Leaders Circle, which we both are a big part of now. So we're going to continue to bring those communities and families and tribes together in 2025. And for my birthday, I would really love to grow the Global Peace Tribe. So I'd really love to invite all of you, please. People know about our wonderful shows. Resubscribe. I'll put the, during Omashar's song, I'll put the subscription information because this is the last week of our current, there we go. This is the last week of our current season. So make sure you register for the new season. And if you register at a higher level, you can give gifts with subscriptions, which is a wonderful way to grow our tribe. And that's what I would love for my birthday. Help us grow this beautiful Global Peace Tribe that Mama Deborah Giusti and Papa Scott started almost 5 years ago. And Deborah, you're back on camera. Any closing thoughts before we go to Omashar? You're muted, dear.
Beautiful, Scott. Thank you so much for keeping this going. It's so great to come back and see people that have been with us from the beginning and still sharing the love and the wisdom. And your transmission was beautiful. Thank you so much for, and hopefully we're going to do that with Marianne Williamson coming up. That's what we're planning next.
Yeah, that's right. We are planning on Marianne coming on and talking about her book, The Mystic Jesus,
which is all about Christ consciousness. She's right on target. So,
yeah. Deborah, I love you so much. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Michaela, I'll bring you up one more time. Thank you for just all your beautiful sharings and your wisdom, and just being an embodiment of love that you are. Beautiful.
I'm honored. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Scott. I'm so grateful and so delighted to be here today. Thank you, Omshar, and every one of you for being here and listening. So grateful. Happy birthday, Scott.
Pleasure. You know, it's so amazing, Omashar, that you've got that image. I was going to actually bring this image up when I was doing my little speech, and I forgot to do that. So thank you, as always, for being the amazing co-pilot that you are. And I don't know, reading my mind or something like that. All right. I'm going to put in the chat box the link to register. For those of you who have not registered for the new season, please do that right now. And Omashar, I love you, brother. Take it away.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round young virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory stream from heaven afar, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah, Christ the Savior is born, Christ the Savior is born. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Yeshua, Lord, at thy birth, Yeshua, Lord, at thy
Happy birthday, Scott.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Omar. It's good to see lots of friends, Oriana, George, so many of you with us tonight. Thank you very, very much. We always like to let people know what's coming up. And on Saturday night, Kristen Hoffman is my wonderful co-host. It's become kind of a tradition. This will be the third year. The last show of the year is co-hosted by Kristen. And we're bringing some of our favorite people on. Pepper Dellums, Nikita Gearing, Chief Phil Lane will be with us, and Swami Steve, and most of all, of course, our beloved Omar Shar. So please join us Saturday night. Register, invite friends, invite people. So that, because what happens is people who watch the show love it, and they come back. So like you all have. So let's grow our global peace tribe.
So there's one more thing, Scott. And now that everybody's unmuted, happy birthday to
Day
you.
to you. Happy birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday, dear
birthday,
Scott.
Scott. Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
You, they could have all unmuted. Happy birthday.
Many more.
Many
Thank you,
more.
everybody.
Goodness.
A joyous and celebrated birthday.
We love you.
It's
That's
your
all.
birthday. It's your birthday. So much, Shar.
Love you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
Thank you so
You rock,
much.
Scott. Good night. Have a good night. Have a good Christmas
Thank you,
evening.
everybody.
Merry Christmas,
Good
everyone.
night.
Bye.
Feliz Navidad.
Blessings and love. Let there be light.
Let